The soap is gone. The last bar, you turn it over in your hands. A thin, translucent sliver, barely enough for one more wash. You look at the shelf where the next bar should be. Empty. You look at the bottle of shampoo. 1 centimeter of liquid at the bottom. You look at the disinfectant spray. The trigger clicks on air. In a modern home, this is an inconvenience that lasts 20 minutes until you reach a store. Now, imagine the store has nothing either. Not this store. Every store, every pharmacy, every market, the shelves are bare, and the delivery trucks are not coming, and the factory that produces these things has stopped, and nobody knows when it will start again. Modern people have outsourced one of the most fundamental requirements of human health entirely to a supply chain they cannot see, cannot control, and cannot replace. Hygiene is not optional. Infection does not negotiate with supply chain disruptions. A wound that cannot be cleaned becomes septic. Hands that cannot be washed transmit disease. A living space that cannot be disinfected becomes a disease reservoir. Behind the Iron Curtain, soap was rationed. 1 bar per person per month in the tightest periods, sometimes less. Never reliably available at the moment it was needed. And people were clean. Their wounds were treated. Their hands were washed. Their homes were disinfected. Their children's hair was clean. Not because the official allocation was sufficient. It was not sufficient because they made what they needed from what they had. From the fat that accumulated in the pan after cooking. From the ash that was left in the stove after every fire. From fermented grain that cost nothing to produce. From lime calcium oxide that was available at any construction site and in any agricultural supply, classified as building material rather than hygiene product, and completely ignored by the rationing system that controlled everything classified as hygiene product. Stay with me, because number 4 on this list is the most complete, zero-cost personal hygiene system ever developed under Iron Curtain conditions, requiring no purchased inputs, no electricity, and no supply chain to function, and it has been used continuously by human beings for longer than recorded history. Let's begin. Number 1. Lye soap from fat and ash. In a village outside Krakow, Poland, in the winter of 1953, a farmer's wife named Zofia made soap, not for the first time. She had made it every winter since she was 12, learning from her mother, who had learned from hers, an unbroken chain of knowledge stretching back centuries before any industrial soap factory existed. The chemistry of soap is ancient and simple. It has not changed. Fat plus alkali plus water produces soap through a chemical reaction called saponification. The alkali breaks down the fat molecules into glycerol and fatty acid salts. The fatty acid salts are soap. The process takes hours, not days, and requires no specialized equipment beyond a container, a heat source, and the patience to stir. Zofia's alkali was lye, not purchased lye. Wood ash lye, produced by the method that every pre-industrial soap maker in every culture in the world used before industrial sodium hydroxide was manufactured commercially. The method: collect hardwood ash from the stove, pack it loosely into a container with drainage holes at the bottom, a clay pot with a porous base, a wooden barrel with gaps between the staves, any container that allows liquid to seep through. Pour water slowly over the ash. The water dissolves the potassium carbonate and potassium hydroxide present in the ash, producing a strongly alkaline solution, lye, that drips from the bottom of the ash bed. The concentration of the lye is tested by the traditional method. If a fresh egg floats in the lye solution with approximately the size of a coin exposed above the surface, the concentration is correct for soap making. Zofia's fat was saved kitchen grease, rendered pork fat, beef tallow, chicken fat, accumulated over months in a sealed container. The production, Combine lye solution with melted fat in the correct proportion. Heat gently while stirring continuously. The mixture will thicken as saponification proceeds. Pour into molds, wooden boxes, clay forms, any shape that can be removed after the soap solidifies. Allow to cure for 4 to 6 weeks. The result is a hard, functional soap that cleans skin effectively, removes grease and grime from hands, and can be shaved into flakes for laundry use. The material cost $0. Both ingredients, ash and kitchen fat, are waste products of normal household operation. Modern soap contains synthetic detergents, synthetic fragrances, preservatives, and petroleum packaging. Global supply chains to manufacture and distribute. Zophia's soap required a stove, a pot, and a fat from Sunday's dinner. Number 2. Lime and ash surface disinfection. Here is the hygiene fact that the modern disinfectant industry does not publicize. Calcium hydroxide, slaked lime, produced by adding water to calcium oxide, is one of the most effective, broad-spectrum antimicrobial agents ever identified. Its mechanism is simple. It raises the pH of any surface it contacts to above 12, a level at which virtually no pathogenic organism can survive. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, all are destroyed by sustained contact with a high pH environment. This is not alternative medicine. This is the reason that every hospital in the pre-antibiotic era whitewashed its walls with lime annually. It is the reason that lime is still used today in agricultural disinfection, in water treatment, and in the preparation of some traditional foods. Behind the Iron Curtain, lime was available everywhere. It was classified as a construction material. It was used for masonry work, for soil amendment, for whitewashing. It was not rationed as a hygiene product because it was not classified as a hygiene product. Soviet and Eastern European families used it as one. Lime wash, calcium hydroxide dissolved in water to a thin, milky consistency, applied to walls, floors, and surfaces, provides sustained antimicrobial action as long as the coating remains. Traditional lime-washed buildings maintain lower pathogen loads on their surfaces than unpainted surfaces or surfaces coated with modern synthetic paints. Dry lime applied directly to organic waste, latrines, refuse pits, animal housing neutralizes odor, ARREST's pathogen multiplication, and accelerates safe decomposition. A lime solution of appropriate concentration applied to hands after working with potentially contaminated materials, soil, animal waste, sick individuals provides a level of surface decontamination that approaches what modern antiseptic washes achieve through different chemical mechanisms. The cost of agricultural lime, minimal to zero in any rural context. In most agricultural regions, it is available in bulk from any farm supply source at a fraction of the cost of equivalent commercial disinfectant products. The Iron Curtain hygiene protocol that used lime for surface disinfection was not a primitive workaround. It was chemistry that worked. That is why it persisted. Number 3. Fermented grain hair wash. Modern shampoo is a complex product. Synthetic surfactants derived from petroleum or palm oil, preservatives, pH adjusters, fragrances, silicones for surface coating, thickeners, colorants. The formulation of a commercial shampoo involves dozens of chemical inputs and a sophisticated manufacturing process. The function of shampoo is not complex. It must remove oil, sebum, environmental dirt, and product residue from hair without stripping the natural protective oils completely, without damaging the hair shaft, and without causing scalp irritation. This function can be performed by a fermented grain rinse. Rye or wheat bran, the outer grain husk, steeped in hot water, cooled, and soured through natural fermentation for 24 to 48 hours. The resulting mildly acidic liquid is worked through the hair. The mild acidity cleans the hair shaft without stripping the cuticle. Natural proteins and starches provide conditioning. Fermentation products provide mild antimicrobial action at the scalp. Clean, manageable hair. Zero purchased ingredients. Soviet women with 1 bar of soap per month reserved it for hands and body. Their hair was washed with fermented bran water. Their hair was clean. Modern shampoo bottles contain 40 to 60% water and are designed to be discarded within weeks. A handful of bran costs nothing and provides the same function. Stop here. Look at the hygiene products under your bathroom sink and in your shower right now. Count them. Most modern bathrooms contain between 15 and 30 separate hygiene products. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, facial cleanser, toner, moisturizer, toothpaste, mouthwash, deodorant, shaving products, hair products, skin products. Every single one of them requires a functioning supply chain to exist in your home. Every single one of them has a replacement that can be produced from materials costing nothing. The Soviet grandmother who made her own soap, washed her hair with fermented grain water, and disinfected her floors with lime was not living in deprivation. She was living with complete independence from a supply chain that, in her experience, could not be trusted. Write in the comments, how many weeks of hygiene supplies do you have stored right now? For most people, the honest answer is 2 to 4 weeks. Number 4. The Animal Fat Body Care System. This is the one that will produce the most resistance from modern viewers, and the one that is most thoroughly validated by the evidence. The skin is a barrier organ. Its function is to maintain the integrity of the body's interface with the external environment. That function requires moisture retention, which requires a lipid layer on the skin surface that slows water evaporation. Commercial moisturizers, body lotions, and skincare products are formulated to support this function using a combination of humectants, emollients, and occlusives. They work. Rendered animal fat works on the same principle through a simpler mechanism. It is an occlusive, providing a physical barrier that slows moisture loss. It does not require formulation. It requires rendering, removing the moisture and impurities from raw fat through gentle heating and storage in a sealed container. Lard, tallow, and bear fat have been used as skincare preparations across every cold climate culture in human history. The specific fat varies by regional availability. The function is identical. Soviet and Eastern European families in regions with cold, dry winters used rendered animal fat as a skin protectant routinely, applied to hands before outdoor work in cold weather. It provided wind and cold protection that commercial barrier creams replicate at significantly higher cost. Applied to dry, cracked skin, the hands and lips that suffer most in cold, dry conditions, rendered fat moisturizes through occlusion and accelerates the healing of minor cracks and abrasions. The cost, 0. The fat is a byproduct of food preparation. Rendering is a simple process requiring only low heat and time. Modern hand creams sell for $5 to $20 and contain the same functional ingredient, an occlusive lipid, surrounded by water, preservatives, and marketing. The Iron Curtain version contained the functional ingredient and nothing else. It worked. Number 5. The Wood Ash Laundry System. The same ash lye used to make soap in number 1 can be used directly as a laundry agent without completing the saponification process. Wood ash lye, the alkaline solution produced by leaching water through hardwood ash, applied to laundry in hot water, provides a cleaning action based on the same chemistry as commercial detergents. The alkalinity breaks down fat and protein bonds, releasing soil from fabric fibers. The method produces lye solution of moderate concentration, less concentrated than for soap making, more dilute. Heat water with lye solution added. Submerge laundry. Allow to soak for 1 to 2 hours. Work the fabric by hand to loosen soil. Rinse thoroughly with clean water. The lye concentration used in laundry must be controlled. Very strong lye solutions will damage fabric fibers over time. The appropriate concentration for laundry use is lower than for soap making and can be moderated by diluting the lye solution with additional water. Soviet rural families boiled laundry in ash lye solution as the standard washing method before commercial detergents became available, and returned to it when commercial detergents became unavailable. The ash is available from any fire. The water requires only heating. The labor is entirely manual. Fabric comes out clean. Here is what all of this means. The modern hygiene industry sells you the belief that cleanliness requires its products. That without commercial soap, commercial shampoo, and commercial disinfectants, hygiene is not possible. This belief is false. It is constructed and maintained because it generates revenue.